Welcome back to Drury University as we continue our coverage of Championship Friday. This is the girls 18 and under Division II championship between the Fort Bend Eagles out of the Houston area and the Flathead Valley Crusaders out of Montana. My name is Paul Gilmore, joined by Jesse Sanders on the broadcast. We want to thank you for joining us from Texas or Montana or anywhere else. Exciting action as we're tipping off. Crusaders in the white uniforms with the red numbers, and Fort Bend in their blue uniforms with the gold numbers. Crusaders win the tip.
Man, Paul, we were just talking offline about teams from Montana. Talk about, covering some distance to be here for this national title.
It is really exciting. I was talking to Miss Opheim right before the game, and she was mentioning that they're in the glacier area up kind of towards Canada in Montana. So definitely made the journey. They came a couple of years ago and decided that they needed to do whatever they could to come back. So they're excited to be here. We're excited to have them on the broadcast. They played a great tournament thus far. That shot up and no good from Burlingame, and Fort Bend will come back the other way. On the drive, that shot is going to be denied by Burlingame as she blocks it out of bounds with two hands. Fort Bend inbounding underneath their basket. On the inside. Ball is going to roll out of bounds. Last touch by Crusaders, so it will stay with the Eagles.
Last summer, Thomas and I had an opportunity to do a clinic with some of the players from FBCHA. And number 2 there, Frankie Francis, and number 11, Soraya Webb. Man, you do not want to give those young ladies any space. They can knock it down. And, really impressed with both of their ball skill. We're doing a lot of offensive work, creating separation. And you can tell they both put a lot of time in honing their craft.
That three-pointer on the way with the left hand, nothing but net, and good for Julia Patton.
May have missed one on the scout. Put Julia Patton, add her to the list.
Fort Bend typically as a program are known to be pretty prolific three-point shooters. The Leach family has come through Fort Bend, and they've been able to knock it down.
Yeah, Joseph, man, he's quite the shooter himself.
That three-pointer is answered back the other way. Shot is up and good. That was Taylor Mathiasen.
Man, in the early goings, both teams looking to pull it from deep.
Yeah, both teams shown they're not afraid to go behind the arc and knock it down. Nearly another one taken. That time the three-pointer on the way, and that's no good off the back iron. Offensive rebound is going to be put back up, and that rolled off the rim. Good job from Burlingame on defense to prevent any extra opportunities. That was Rebecca Taylor on the second attempt.
Man, Paul, we had the opportunity to watch a really competitive girls 18U game here last night. West Michigan and versus the HA Firebirds. It was clash of two styles, just prolific shooting from the outside by West Michigan. And then, man, Lily inside for the Firebirds. 19 first half points, 9 of 9 from the line. I think she missed one field goal in the first half.
That deep three-pointer was no good from Emmy Opheim, but a good look on it. Just couldn't connect. Now back the other way, the Eagles, they're going to fire up another three-pointer. That's going to be off right. One thing that Taylor did good on that three-pointer is she shot the high school three-pointer. A lot of times we've seen these players just stepping back behind that farthest line, which obviously can be challenging as a player when you see two different lines. Your eye is kind of trained to stand behind the farthest one. That time the pass is overthrown.
And I don't know if it's worded as the Steph Curry effect or the Caitlin Clark effect or both, but I feel like, gosh, watching the high school game now as opposed to 5-10 years ago, you're just watching the game spread further and further, deeper and deeper. And I think some of it is credit to student athletes working on shots maybe that they wouldn't have worked on a few years ago, but just seeing as the pro and the college game has spread out, you're seeing that trickle down to the high school game as well.
And I think one of the conversations I had earlier with there's a lot of basketball minds here this week, and that's one of the great things about nationals, just getting to talk ball. And one of the coaches was saying he was watching, I believe, one of the 14U games, or maybe even 12, and there was a young man who was firing from deep, but he was kind of having to torque his whole body to get it up there. And the idea is you don't want to be shooting shots where it's not a regular rhythm kind of shot. And if you don't have the strength to shoot from that deep, then you probably shouldn't be taking that shot. But a lot of these ladies are just pulling up with, just regular form and showing that that's within their range.
Right, yeah, if you can shoot it naturally and it's one rhythm, smooth release, great shot. But you're right, at a younger age group, man, that you're not seeing that at 18U, but you're watching some of the 12 and the 10U. Sometimes I think that can be detrimental to a young player's development. Because even their size-wise, it'd be like me trying to shoot a watermelon or a beach ball or something and heaving that thing up from my shoulder.
Out of the timeout, Fort Bend got a good look at it from Taylor, but no good. Quickly coming back the other way. Kayla Williams, one of the seniors for the Crusaders. Opheim drives to the right. Burlingame looking underneath. That shot attempt is going to be no good from Mathiasen. And she maybe got a little bit too deep under the basket, but good opportunity for the Crusaders with their interior passing.
Heads up play by Burlingame. Caitlin caught the ball there, and, man, she took the time to square up, see what the defense gave her, and saw she had a teammate open down underneath the rim. That's impressive for a girl her size to have the poise and the wherewithal, not to just think, hey, I'm just a back-to-the-basket player. No, she can face up. She can make a good read. Excited to see more from her this game.
And Eagles coming with some half-court pressure now. Good pass up ahead. Nice look underneath for Burlingame, and she puts it in for two.
Love that. The player that's passing the last possession gets rewarded this possession. That's good team basketball.
Great pass from Williams. Now on the dribble, Taylor loses it off of her feet, and that's going to go back to the Crusaders. They've been pretty stout defensively. As a matter of fact, both teams have played pretty good defense thus far, so it's going to come down to execution on offense to see who can create some separation.
Good save there. Number 23, Dre Opheim.
That ball taken away by Soraya Webb, and she's going to lay it up just a little short. Offensive rebound, Francis, and she's going to go to the line shooting two. They gave that foul to Williams. That's her first foul of the ball game. First shot for Francis is good. Substitution for Fort Bend as Faith Small checks into the game. Second shot for Francis is good as well. So Francis able to connect on both. That ties the ball game back at 5. Inbound is going to be stolen. That shot attempt no good. Now the Crusaders coming back the other way. And on the drive, put in by Mathiasen. She's got a quick 5 points and gives the lead back to the Crusaders. Under halfway to go in the opening period of play. This is the girls 18 and under Division II championship. Taylor no good on the shot. Good rebound by the Crusaders. Looking inside for Burlingame.
That was a quick pass. Wind that thing back like a quarterback.
Opheim short on the shot. Offensive rebound was last touched by the Crusaders. More substitutions for Flathead Valley. Jalen Mitchell checks in. As does Addie White. Fort Bend working the ball on the high post.
Inside out.
Inside to Taylor again. Burlingame stays straight up. Good defense. And then we're going to have an over the back going the other way against Taylor. Kayla Barlow is going to check in for Fort Bend.
Man, with Burlingame on the bench, I think Fort Bend was looking to capitalize and go at Jaden Mitchell. But man, that's good defensive presence. FBCHA has been trying to attack most of this quarter, and Crusaders doing a really good job just walling up, guarding without fouling. It's a lot difficult. A lot of players want to bring those arms down, get tangled up. It takes a lot of discipline to move your feet and then keep those hands up.
Approaching 2 minutes to play. Soraya Webb knifes through the defense, can't get the ball to fall, but she will go to the line shooting 2, and that is the second foul on Kayla Williams. Good drive by Webb. She was the all-region player for Fort Bend in the Big South.
Saying 2 for 2 here, Paul. There's one.
We've talked a lot this week about broadcast jinx, so we'll see whether you have the touch.
Is that something you want? Do you want the touch?
I don't think so, but I don't know.
All right, come on. Dang
And
it, I got the touch.
she misses the second. Well, that shot was thrown over the rim.
The outlet pass almost gone in.
Fort Bend applying a lot of pressure. Good look underneath. With the left hand, no good, but an offensive rebound. That second attempt is going to be blocked by Webb. Now Barlow coming quickly the other way. She's going to drive all the way to the rim, floated off the side of the backboard, and good defensive rebounding from Kayla Williams.
Good cross.
Three-pointer on the way. Off the back iron, but chases down the offensive rebound. Good look underneath, but intercepted by Webb. She's coming the other way. On the drive, Webb. That time she's whistled for the offensive foul. I think the Crusaders were picking up on the fact that she wanted to attack and didn't really look for another option. I mean, she might have been looking for the corner kick, but she's driving
tough.
full speed ahead.
Again, you never want to squelch that aggressive nature, especially when you have a great playmaker like that. But that time, not the read. Didn't have numbers, didn't have the space. Thankfully, there's still a lot of game to be played.
There is, and a lot of times you'll see coaches try to develop players to learn when to stop and pop or shoot a floater as part of that developmental for your game.
But again, it's hard in those situations, Paul, because it's like when you've got a player that's aggressive like that, and Soraya she's a great ball handler, great playmaker, and so it's like sometimes you live with that mistake, because you don't want her not pushing the envelope. So nobody's perfect. You're gonna get with that strength comes your occasional charge, maybe a turnover here and there.
And that time Barlow no good on the first attempt, but Francis is going to go to the line and shoot 2. I didn't quite see who that foul was on. I thought they said 11, and if that was Williams, that would be her third.
If so, I think we'll see a substitution coming here real soon. You don't want to be having third foul in the first quarter.
But maybe not. That is the third free throw for Francis, though, in this opening period of play. Under a minute to go. She ties the game at 7. Second on the way, and that's off left. Good defensive rebound by the Crusaders. One thing the Crusaders have done well is try to work the ball inside, get some inside-outside passing. That ball is going to be tipped away from Barlow and nearly ended up with Addie White, but it is going to stay with Flathead Valley. 28.9 seconds to go in a tie ball game. Crusaders running a box set. And they're going to take a timeout to talk about it. 30 seconds. So we'll keep it here, 7-7 ball game, 28.9. Jesse, what is your analysis from the almost a quarter in now? Both teams' styles, play. What are you noticing as kind of a trend in this game?
They're still trying to feel each other out. You can't really be anybody's guess right now at saying which team is taking control of this game. You'll see spurts. I think defensively for the Crusaders. Doing a great job on the interior. I I'd like to see, I think the Eagles have an advantage with their guard play and getting out in transition. I'd like to see more of that. 7-7, neither team are really hitting their stride offensively just yet. So, it's national final. Defense is heightened, but I think as nerves settle, I think both of these offenses could look a little bit more proficient.
Nice play on the inbounds. That is Williams who gets on the board. And it's a good point you made, Jesse, about kind of feeling each other out. Obviously, these teams are from across the country. They don't see each other at any districts or regionals. But, again, I had a conversation with the Crusaders right before the game when the teams were warming up, and they mentioned adjustments even to the officials and how things are called at Missouri versus how things are called in Montana. And so, being able to adjust to those things, as that's going to be the first quarter of play. And after one, Flathead Valley Crusaders 9, FBCHA Eagles 7. Second quarter action and more from here at Drury coming up after this intermission. I don't think so. I think one's a senior and one's a junior. Yeah. Back here at the O'Reilly Family Event Center, this is the girls 18 and under Division II championship between Fort Bend and Flathead Valley. In the first quarter, a very tightly contested ball game. Flathead Valley took a 2-point lead towards the end of the period. Now as we start the second, Webb is going to shoot the jumper, and that's good.
Man, tough. Great pass back and forth, getting the space for the easy shot. I shouldn't say easy, open shot, I should say.
First field goal of the game for Webb. On the inside, Burlingame spins to her left, and with the height, puts it up and in. Off of the screen, Webb knifes through the defense, lays it up with the left. Nice move from Soraya Webb. On the far side, that shot is no good. That was White. Had a good look at it from the good pass. Ball game tied at 11. Webb in the corner, three-pointer on the way, no good. Offensive rebound, Taylor.
If you're FBCHA, I like that high ball screen. The Crusaders, they're used to having Burlingame hang back in the paint, right? She's big, she's a great rim protector, but if she's just gonna flat that ball screen, if she's gonna hang there deep, she's gonna leave her guards out on an island to defeat that screen without any help. And so especially with the shooting that FBCH has. If they can just screen, rescreen, they're going to create a lot of opportunities.
Webb drives baseline. Then on the attack, that ball was knocked out of the hands of Allison Lee. She got a good look at it, but then we're going to have a foul on Webb going the other way. Second foul on Webb.
Give and go by the Opheim sisters.
There was a look for Burlingame, but got batted around, ends up in the hands of the Eagles. On the baseline drive, nice take by Frankie Francis.
Paul, the Opheim sisters have decided to trade shoes. We got a left and a right thing going, the gray and purple.
I think you and I should do that for the next broadcast.
You know what? I don't think we would look as good, Paul. But you got the fresh haircut, though. I need to get mine.
Ball loose on this possession in the half court. As the players hit the floor, it's going to be a jump ball. I think the Eagles did not have the possession arrow. Substitution. Checking back in for the Crusaders. Mathiasen.
We played a set of twins in college. They played for VMI. The Holmes twins, identical. One of them was a driver and one was a shooter. Messed me up every time. I'd always get it wrong.
I was going to say that's got to make it tough on the scouting report.
Right.
Nice backdoor cut. And that's going to be a nice play for the Crusaders. Tensman gets on the board.
Man, 13-13.
It's been a good ball game. These teams are very closely matched. Good rebound. Good job by Williams on the box out. In the corner.
Nice.
Baseline jumper. Good look at it, just no good. Webb quickly the other way. Pace is picked up here in the second quarter. On the drive, that shot is good for Faith Small.
Man, great to see Faith. She could have hung back and looked for the outlet. Instead, she gets wide, runs the lane, and gets rewarded. Like to see that.
Opheim on the drive.
Good pass.
Over the backboard. That shot's no good. From Williams. Had a good look at it. Substitutions for Fort Bend. Barlow checks back in, as does Piper Francis.
It's nice at this stage in the tournament to be a part of a team where a coach trusts some of the bench, because these girls are coming off back-to-back games in a very short recovery time. So you can see a difference in the teams that are playing, 5 deep versus 9 deep, and share some of that load.
That's a good point. That was a nice drive from Small. It's a good point because a lot of the times, too, the coaches will tighten up on their rotations, and you'll have, maybe 6 players play in a game of this kind of magnitude, if you will.
Right.
But both teams, like you mentioned, have made plenty of substitutions, as there is going to be a bump foul on Opheim. Just the first foul on Emmy Opheim.
And it's a different format. A lot of times during the year, you're not playing in these week-long tournaments. You're catching a Tuesday night game or a Friday night game, maybe a weekend tournament, but to have this steady game, Monday through Friday. Oh man, okay.
Webb elevated for the shot.
The
Could not
highlight
connect.
reel.
That ball is going to be intercepted on the pass. That was Tensman who stole it away. On the far corner, shot is good. Nice looking shot.
Crusaders team is really unselfish. Watching a lot of girls, be comfortable just making that next simple pass, not trying to over dribble, trying to do too much.
Good look for Small. Couldn't connect from 3. 3 minutes to go in the first half. Tied at 15 again. Neither team able to create much separation. Good look inside. In the corner, a three-pointer on the way. And that is good. Good ball movement. That's another three-pointer for Mathiasen. Her second of the game. She now has 10 points.
That inside out. I want to see the statistics on it, but you're statting shooting percentage off the dribble versus an inside-out three-pointer. I know it's higher. I don't know how much higher, but, man, you get that. It makes sense. When you practice, you're getting a rebounder, passing out, and hitting the shot. So that Sheen ball goes inside, kicks out, left, right, 1-2 shots. It's what you're working on day in and day out.
That free throw jumper, nothing but net.
Tough shot.
Dre Opheim gets herself on the board.
Gives her sister some love. Get a little attaboy on a good pass.
Three-pointer the other way, and that's in and out, no good from Francis. Good rebound, Crusaders.
FBCHA put a lot of pressure on that O board. They're sending 3, sometimes even 4 girls crashing, trying to create those extra possessions.
And that time, Opheim passed it to the trainer.
Yeah, it's good to see she's laughing at it too.
And 2 minutes to go in the first half. Crusaders have now opened up a little bit of an advantage in a game that's been tied most of the game. 5 points can feel a little bit more of a bigger point differential, but Fort Bend certainly capable of putting the ball in the basket. Webb's been great here in the second quarter. In the corner, three-pointer on the way. Too strong, off the back iron. Francis, rebound, no good.
And you want to see that from your point guard. She, good handle, gets in the paint, looks to create for herself first. It's not there. She kicks out. Room and rhythm shot for a good shooter.
I was going to say, you're almost expecting that shot to go in just because of how well it was passed right to the shooting pocket and in rhythm. Just Fort Bend has not been able to knock in some of those today.
And a small thing, but if you watch, most of the time as she's passing that ball with seams. Shooter didn't. Seems like a little thing, but that shooter has to take that split second to adjust the ball to shoot with seams. I like watch her, especially when she's kicking it out with her right hand. She's done a great job passing with seams into that shooter's pocket.
That time, nice turnaround. Goes in for Taylor. That's a good point, Jesse, talking about development of these players. There's an element of, yes, you need to get the ball to them, but as you continue to advance up the levels of age groups, you start learning about, okay, what does it mean when we talk about shooter's pocket?
Right.
What does it mean to pass it with seams? What does it mean to catch it in rhythm? All of those little things that make a big difference that when you watch a basketball game, if you were just to watch a game, you don't really think about it a whole lot. But as you're thinking about the development of your game, are you doing the little things that make a big difference?
And if you've ever played with someone that's a good passer and you've been the beneficiary of it, and you've had a pass that's dribbled on a line, in the pocket, with seams, you're like, whoa, okay, that's great. And,
And as you build that team chemistry, you learn where the shooters like to catch it.
Right, and it starts getting reciprocated. That, man, how you want to be treated, you treat others. You want guys to hook you up with a good pass, hook them up with a good pass.
Bringing a little golden rule into basketball.
Right.
That was Opheim on the three over there, speaking of good shooters. Under 10 to play in the half. That shot no good from Small. Rebound Burlingame. Going to be tipped away. Underneath, Taylor's going to be bumped and fouled. The foul was called before the halftime buzzer, so she is going to get some free throws. We're going to see they may pull all the players and just have her shoot.
We didn't credit Taylor Mathiasen with a block. She got a piece on that jump shot coming from somebody that didn't get a lot of blocks. Never want to miss someone else's, so give her put credit in there as a deflection off the glass for Miss Mathiasen.
So, Jesse, as we're about to finish the first half, you were talking about, if you ever get the chance to play with good passers. There was a guy I played with one time named Jesse Sanders who was pretty good at hitting shooters, particularly some of those practices where I had a chance to be in the corner.
Good, man. Good memories,
Was
man.
it about 30 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time, Paul.
On the old Astrodome court.
That's right. Good memories playing homeschool ball together.
First free throw is no good from Taylor.
Jeremy Caldwell was trying to put a announcer's 3-on-3 team in it. So Paul's ready to suit him up. Got the fresh haircut, ready to go.
Second free throw, no good. So Taylor actually misses both. So we'll finish the first half exactly where we left off before that foul. The Flathead Valley Crusaders 23, Fort Bend Eagles 17. Second half of that game and a lot more action coming up after this intermission.
Looking good.
All right, coming back in the second half. This girls 18 and under Division II championship game. In the first half, the Flathead Valley Crusaders took a 23-17 lead over Fort Bend in the first possession of the second half. No good, but a good look from the Eagles. Good ball movement as well.
Love this first possession. Frankie Francis wastes no time. They're down 6. Probably not the best first half for the Eagles. First possession, she gets that ball, sweeps right, and goes at the rim.
This time she lines up a triple, no good off the back iron.
And I'll take that too, though. Good shooter. If you're the Eagle, you want to have that one back.
I was going to say it's a very dangerous play for Webb because that's now her third foul, and you definitely don't want to take those take fouls about 80 feet from the basket.
And we need her out there. You're from the Eagles. You don't want to see Soraya Webb going to the bench.
A couple of good offensive rebounds, but no good on that shot. That first three-pointer was from Matthias, and she led the Crusaders with 10 in the first half. Meanwhile, Webb and Francis each had 5 for the Eagles. That ball nearly tipped and stolen, but good spin from Taylor. Just a little bit too much on it. Offensive rebound might have been blocked.
Man, Crusaders' interior defense is really tough. Like, she got in for the layup, kind of had to extend, missed it. But on that second attempt, there were 3 girls there, hands up. Again, not doing the stupid foul center to the line. But there was 2 or 3 players who might get credit for that block shot.
On the inside, Burlingame. Nice look on the backside. Nearly an and one.
It's good basketball.
That's going to be Williams going to the line shooting 2. I love how Burlingame immediately looked to the backdoor cut. You can tell that's a designed action that they run in practice. First free throw short.
That sweet spot, man. Anytime on offense you can get that ball to the high post, it's human nature as a defender. Your eyes are naturally drawn to where the ball goes. And when it does, it creates cutting lanes all over the court. You can get that big target right there in Burlingame, have her controlled to be looking for it. That's good offense.
And that offensive rebound off the miss was Opheim. On the inside, Taylor working against Burlingame. Cross-court pass. Three-pointer, no good. Another offensive rebound for the Eagles.
Like the high screen.
That three-pointer, no good. Too strong.
FBCHA, they can get that shot all day. Again, they're the way the Crusaders are guarding it, Burlingame just staying low. And so, man, keep running them off that high ball screen.
Opheim cuts into the lane. Nice jumper.
Eagles need to get going, need something.
Dre Opheim, the senior, now with 9 points in this game. Far corner 3 is good for Piper Francis.
Right on cue, man. You're not giving me any love, Paul. I'm asking for a bucket. We get one there within a few seconds. Great shot.
Baseline jumper, a little bit too strong. Good rebound, Williams. Finds Burlingame to Opheim. She's going to fire up a 3. That's going to be short. So that's the good part of the broadcast jinx.
There you go.
You know, that's that positive stuff. Yeah, that's the one we were talking about.
All right, quit while I'm ahead.
(27-20) lead. Crusaders over the Eagles. Webb drives to the left, gets it in the corner. Francis thought about getting another one. Taylor, offensive rebound. She's going to fire it up, and that's a little bit too strong. Opheim coming back the other way. Burlingame doing a good job directing traffic from the high post. Opheim steps through the defense that time. I don't think Burlingame was ready for that pass. Piper Francis, she's driving.
Little contact up the floor. Man, contact all the way.
That time Burlingame stood her ground. Webb had it knocked away.
Man, physical
Players
game.
diving on the ground in the corner. Webb
Crusaders guarding hard, but Eagles not backing down.
That time the shot is good for Julia Patton.
I like to see that, man. There's 2 or 3 girls that, trying to make a case for getting a foul call, but they didn't quit. They didn't stop and start whining. Just keep playing. A couple passes, and then get a good shot from a good shooter.
That shot is no good from Emmy Opheim. Frankie Francis on the drive, puts it in.
Just like that, this thing's a 3-point game.
Fort Bend's done a good job coming out strong in this quarter, and Coach Opheim's going to want to take some time to talk about that. Fort Bend on a little bit of a run. It is now 27-24, and Jesse, if you're Coach Opheim, probably not the start you wanted in the third quarter, but what would you be telling your girls in this timeout?
But again, I wouldn't overreact because FBCHA, I think we just saw a really strong showing from them. And basketball's a game of runs. So hey, they responded. They had a good couple series. Let's get back to what we've been doing well. And that I'd get that ball back in the high post. I'd start running that back through Burlingame and then get that action. They've been successful with that all game long. I wouldn't try to turn this thing into a track meet and start jacking threes. That style is going to suit FBCHA. So get back to what got us that lead to begin with, and I think it was well-timed timeout. Hey, there's some momentum there, starting to shift. Let's get this thing back to where we want it.
Coming out of the timeout, we'll see if either team chooses to make any adjustments. Crusaders will have the ball on the near side. And that is through the hands of Opheim. One thing these teams have also been doing a good job, just sitting here on the broadcast booth, is I can hear both of them communicating on offense and defense. That time Webb went up in the air. Fortunately ended up back with her team, and she shoots the right-hand runner, no good. Offensive rebound, Barlow.
Make sure we're taking care of the ball. We've had a couple careless passes here from the Eagles this possession. There's a good look there.
And that's in and out, no good on the three-pointer. 3 different players had the ball, and that's going to be a held ball going back to the Crusaders. And again, Jesse, a lot of credit to the Crusaders defense. They're doing a good job staying in front and just playing solid team defense.
That action is such a beautiful action, man. Right side of the wing, baseline drive equals baseline drifts. That shooter on that left side sinks down, be locked down, ready to shoot. And really,
three-pointer, big response for Opheim. She's heating up big time in the third quarter. She now has 7 in this period alone.
Nice take.
That is a good take, and unfortunately just off the front rim. And going to have a foul called. I believe that's going to be on Small. Good look on the inside. Back out. Three-pointer in and out, no good. But that was a good look for Mathiasen. Nice shot for the Crusaders. No good that time. They've done a good job of getting the ball into the post and then turning to look and see what options they have on the backside. That ball was saved by Small, but saved to the Crusaders. Opheim the other way. Back outside. Mathiasen in and out. Good box out is going to lead to an over-the-back call. And I believe that's going to be on Williams. Oh, nope, that's going to be on Mitchell. Francis and Taylor check back in for Fort Bend. After some substitutions, we'll get back underway. Under 2 to play in the third quarter. Crusaders now with a 6-point lead after their most recent three-pointer.
And that ball goes in for the Eagles.
Good move by the Eagles. That's going to be a foul on number 24, Addie White.
One of the first times we've seen an advantage created by getting that ball inside for the Eagles. The Crusaders are doing a really good job, one, walling up on defense, but their guards, I think there's a high level of trust that their bigs are in control. We don't have to go double down. We don't need to help. Because a lot of times as an offense, you're wanting to just get that ball in, whether it's a scoring threat or just a kick out because the defense sags in. But man, Crusaders really disciplined, one, for the bigs to wall up, and two, for their guards to stay at home.
And now Fort Bend applying a little bit of full court pressure.
I like this call by FBCHA, trying to speed this thing up. Crusaders pretty solid in the half-court offense. See how they can respond to this FBCHA pressure.
On the drive, that shot flipped up, no good. Shot attempt from Tensman.
Got a 2-on-3 here. Nice move by Frankie Francis. Little stop and finish right over her defender.
She's got 9, and just like that, we're back to a one-possession ball game. Nice look on the inside. Good defense from Taylor. Opheim, and one.
And one.
Put it in on the tough finish. Dre Opheim. And she connects on the and one. She's having a big third quarter. She's got 10 points just in this period alone to lead the Crusaders. Meanwhile, nice spin move to the right from Taylor.
Give Taylor an attaboy. Man, gets the free throw on the first possession, and then a tough move here for the right-hand finish.
Opheim's going to fire up the three, just short. And that's not able to be saved by her teammates. 13.8 seconds to go in the third quarter. Fort Bend looking for one last good opportunity here in the period to try to chip it away just a little bit more at this. Make it a 1 or 2 point game if they can. Inside, Taylor. No good, but Webb had the rebound, and that was knocked out of bounds out of her hands. 3.1 to go.
Webb was looking for the foul on her offensive rebound. I think she's going up and under reverse. Looks like ball got knocked out of her hand. 3 seconds. Let's see this inbounds play from the Eagles.
Taylor. Francis for three. No good off the back iron, and that's going to do it. After 3 quarters, we've got just 8 more minutes to determine this champion as it stands. Crusaders 33, Eagles 29. Fourth quarter action to come after this intermission. It's shaping up to be a good one here in Drury. We've got 8 minutes to determine our girls 18 and under D2 champion. Just 4 points separate the Flathead Valley Crusaders and the Fort Bend Eagles. On the inbounds, Taylor puts it in with the left.
Man,
Picks up where she left in the third quarter.
She's come alive this second half. Really, really looking tough.
Meanwhile, in that third quarter, Dre Opheim had all 10 points for the Crusaders.
And look who's checking in over there at the table, Paul. We got Caitlin Burlingame back in, the defensive stopper there for the Crusaders. I think Coach said, you know what, we need to put a stop to this.
That ball ripped away by Webb on the drive. She laid it up with the left.
Lowered the shoulder, got into her defender's body, and then created space with the left. That was really nice finish.
And then that ball is taken away by Frankie Francis. Webb driving again, puts it up, and
this time on the right.
And one.
Wow, first on the left side, now on the right, and one. Looking for a fifth point in about 20 seconds, Paul. Tough take.
They call that foul on Opheim. Burlingame checks back in, as does Mathiasen. And you're right, Jesse, if Webb can put this free throw in, that's the first 6 points of the fourth quarter in only 52 seconds. And she does.
Okay, they got a 4-on-2. Can Crusaders convert? Oh, FBCHA closes the gap. Now looking to run. Good call.
On the inside, Taylor working against Burlingame, out to Webb, off right. Good rebound, Burlingame, but has it poked away. Webb is going to challenge with the shot.
Man, what you want to see from a point. Early on, facilitating, getting your other teammates involved. She has really taken over this game here in the early part of the fourth quarter.
She's got 7 points in the first 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. Burlingame in the corner. Mathiasen almost had the big answer. Williams, the offensive rebound. And timeout to save the possession as Coach Opheim recognized that they were in a pretty precarious position.
One thing you're going to want to do on that one, man, Crusaders, you see that corner shot coming. So often that shot goes long. And that's when, if you're a guard, you got to just be so disciplined. You see that corner shot come up and you're on defense, you got to go bury that big. Sometimes it may be a front, just face check. Sometimes it's a box, but trying to get a body on, especially if you're giving up size on that offside. And, again, a lot of these things were things that, I had shown to me when I got into the college level and the professional ranks, but it's like, man, if you can, these younger athletes pick up some of this stuff that's going to be teaching and coaching points that they're now getting access through film and watching and evaluating, it just helps prepare you for that next level. I always think that was so shocking when you go into the college level was, man, the attention to detail. I hate if I made a mistake in a game, I was going to see that thing about 75 times over the next week before we were prepared for the next game. I hated it, but man, the drilling, the repetition really helped.
So out of the timeout, Opheim loses the handle. Ball goes back to Fort Bend. They have started this quarter on a 9-0 run to take a 38-33 lead.
Yeah, I'd keep the ball right here.
Look
at that. Great
on
look.
The feed to Taylor.
Great
she couldn't
look.
quite keep the handle on it. Was a great feed from Webb. Meanwhile, on the far side, that ball is going to be tipped and intercepted.
Good hustle, hard hit. Good.
And nearly intercepted again, and then Taylor's going to be fouled on the way up.
Man, attaboy to number 12, Allison Lee, hustling to get back, making a play. It took a hard hit on her head, but then looked a little shaken up, ran back to get back in the play. If I'm the Eagles, I'm looking whatever we can do to draw the play up to keep the ball in Soraya Webb's hands. Whether she's scoring at the rim or creating for teammates, she is just in a zone right now. Whereas on the Crusaders, man, face check, she gives it up. She does not get that thing back.
First free throw is good by Taylor. Second, no good. Rebound to the Crusaders.
It's the largest lead the Eagles have had all game. 6-point advantage. Let's see how the Crusaders respond.
And we're going to have a touch foul out front.
Paul, what do you think? If you're the Crusaders, it's been a little stagnant offensively last few minutes. What are you looking for here?
So they did put Burlingame back in the game. I think what they have to be careful about is not to settle for three-pointers. They've shown they've been able to make them, but even at this juncture of the game, you're not at a point where you need to start throwing up three-pointers. It's only a 6-point game. Coming back the other way, 2-on-2.
Yeah, kind of a sloppy little segment there. Not sure if those are steals or turnovers or what was happening. There's about 6 change of possessions.
Taylor did a good job staying upright. Ball lost out of bounds by Mathiasen. I believe the Fort Bend defense has stepped up really well here in the fourth quarter as well.
Yep. Crusaders
have gotten some good looks, and they've not converted, but again, 10-0 to start the fourth quarter for Fort Bend.
Well, again, when you're seeing that ball hit the ground, it's like you'll see a flurry of Eagles. They're getting after it. Whether it's a long rebound, whether it's a deflected pass, they're giving up size about at every position. But where that was bothering them early has not been bothering them here recently.
Opheim has the time.
Good man, passes up the shot, gets it to her sister. Little long.
That ball goes to Fort Bend, and now Webb slows it down. Sensing that we're about halfway through the fourth quarter, she even looked up at the clock on the arena just to double check and make sure. And now she's taken some air out of the ball at the volleyball line.
If you're the Crusaders, you cannot stay in the zone. 4 minutes to go. You need to pick up and pressure. This is where being the smaller, quicker team plays to your advantage.
And that time, Piper Francis lost the handle, double dribble.
Oh, man, bad bounce. That ball rolled all the way down the tunnel. Thankfully, we've got somebody back there deep in the tunnel.
Save a little bit of energy.
There we go.
On the inbounds, now the Crusaders have the advantage. 5-on-4. Small recovers, and then she's going to be called for the foul. That is only the second team foul for Fort Bend. Both teams only with 2.
This is always the tough part. So the aggressive play is what got the Eagles back in the game and then to take the lead. But then there's almost something that's a challenge psychologically when you get the lead. Okay, do we keep the pedal to the metal or do we back off?
On the cross-court pass, taken away by Taylor, but then Flathead is going to throw it back out of bounds as Addie White stole it back, but then turned it over.
Burlingame heads back to the bench.
I wonder if Flathead wanted to go more guard-heavy, go guard for guard, try to play a little bit faster maybe.
Maybe so. Maybe it's doesn't feel foot speed to guard. I don't know. They're having to go man-to-man.
Meanwhile, Rebecca Taylor keeps filling up the stat sheet.
Rebecca Taylor gets, when she sees Burlingame go to the bench, she gets excited.
And that ball knocked out of bounds by the Eagles. 3:05 left to go. It's now an 8-point advantage for Fort Bend. On the inbounds, Williams. Big three-pointer here on the way. No good off the back iron. Another offensive rebound. And then she stepped on the baseline. So, Jesse, a little bit reversal of fortune here for Fort Bend. The Crusaders have yet to score in the fourth quarter. And obviously, not to state the obvious, it's a terrible time to go on a drought.
Sure. Well, offense hasn't looked great, but, man, the Eagles really looked like a different defensive team here in the second half than they did in the first half.
And that time, Opheim was able to be fouled on the shot. Foul is on Lee.
So give the coaching staff, Coach Taylor, a lot of credit making the adjustments. Crusaders were comfortably ahead all throughout the first half and even in the early parts of the second half. Picking up that press, a lot of just energy, even in the half-court sets. The Eagles have looked far more aggressive here in the second half than the Crusaders have.
Second free throw, no good. Rebound, Taylor.
So 7-point game, though. You're the Crusaders. You get a stop in a bucket, you're right back in this.
Underneath, they were looking for Taylor. It's a good look, just a little bit too strong.
Reading Coach Taylor's lips. She's pleading with her players, take care of the basketball. 2.5 minutes to play in the national final, and every possession counts.
On the inbounds, that's stolen by Webb. And then on the pass to Francis. So for Flathead Valley, no harm, no foul. But again, both teams now, the possessions are at a premium. And that inbounds is stolen.
Not the inbound pass you're looking for.
That three-pointer is fired up by Francis, but another offensive rebound to Fort Bend. And now Webbs has the ball. Great defense from Opheim on Webb.
Webb's a tough guard here late. Them having the lead. She's got a good handle, good strength. Oh, but no one's perfect.
Taken away by Opheim. Looking down low. Ends up in the hands of Williams. Gets it to Burlingame. She's able to save it. And I didn't see what they called. Maybe an offensive foul on Burlingame.
Some frustration there with Burlingame. She thought somebody was grabbing her by chance, but she's little bit too violent, little too big of a reaction there. Picked her up the offensive foul.
I think one thing Fort Bend is keying in on as well is the three-point shooters for Flathead Valley. They've got Taylor matched up against Burlingame, but the Crusaders are not getting nearly as many good looks from the three-point line as they were in the first half.
Yeah. That's so true. Here at FBCHA, clock's your friend. You just, no need to shoot, no need to be aggressive. I'd take that thing out.
That time Burlingame rips it away from Francis. Williams against Webb. Steps through some contact. Last touch by the Eagles.
Timeout.
I think that's a good timeout because you're still looking at a 7-point deficit with 1 minute and 6 seconds left to go. So like you mentioned earlier, not desperation time. You can get a couple stops pretty quickly, especially if Fort Bend is still willing to continue their offensive, shots that they're taking.
Right.
I would imagine in this timeout, Coach Taylor's probably going to tell them that
Slow it down,
we need to back it out.
Right.
You want to have, Webb and Francis and some of the other guards kind of spreading it out a little bit, but
right, my guess is there's an offensive play call that's being drawn up here. I would try to get that ball inside, some kind of back screen, cross screen action. And then down here, I'd be interested to see what is the Crusaders' trapping defense. They got great ball handlers here for the Eagles. And with 1 minute, 6 seconds to play and a 7-point advantage, they don't need to do a thing. Dribble, weave, keep that thing spaced. So it'd be interesting to see if the Crusaders, one, can get a bucket, and then can turn the heat up on the Eagles, whether that's full court man-to-man, whether that's a trapping action. But sitting back in that zone, not a recipe for success.
I was going to ask you in this situation if you would recommend coming out in a full court press. I think the Eagles have good guards, and they might break the press and catch you on the backside, but you might also create a couple of opportunities for yourself.
Right. When you're down 6 or 7 with 1 minute to play, you don't have a lot of options. So whatever your best, whether it's a half court press or a full court press, there has to be something that speeds this up. They do have a lot of length, so maybe don't have the foot speed the Eagles do. They've got a lot of length, especially on that front line.
And they don't need a three-pointer. They just need a basket. And that time they were looking for Burlingame, but
so close.
Opheim has it knocked away.
Man,
on the drag screen. On the drag screen, it looked like some contact, and then we've got a foul called on Opheim. Just the third team foul for the Crusaders. And that's going to be a traveling violation on the inbound. Patton had the ball. She started to fall over the half-court line, but before she had the backcourt, looks like she shuffled her feet.
That's tough in that situation when you're inbounding right near that half-court line. You got to pick where you want to go. You're going to take it in the front court or the back court. You don't want to be playing with either side of the line.
And unfortunately, that ball was not able to be thrown in the corner for Mathiasen. Crusaders are full court pressing now. get it into Taylor. Francis. Looks like the clock didn't start initially, so the referees will tell them how to reset that. They're going to run a few more seconds off. 36.5 seconds left to go. Eagles lead 41-34 here in the fourth quarter. On the inbounds, Webb takes it all the way to the far sideline, behind the back, and she's going to be fouled by Opheim. And that's still just the fourth team foul, so anything moving forward is going to send the Eagles to the line. They just adjusted the arena scoreboard. That is the fifth. So Webb will be at the line, shooting 2. First free throw short. Second one on the way. And that's off, no good, but an offensive rebound, Taylor. And now the Eagles are going to be able to take more time off the clock. On the dribble weave, Opheim whistled for the foul. That's going to send Webb right back where we were a few minutes ago. Or a few seconds ago, I should say. Chance for Webb to redeem herself after those last 2 missed free throws. She's a good shooter, so you know she can knock it down. And nothing but net on the first. Substitutions for both teams. Checking in for the Eagles is Aspen Clay. Well, I guess she's going to come in for Webb if Webb makes the free throw. I would miss on purpose, so I get more game time.
Truth.
That's the old basketball trick right there.
Definitely done that. When you care more about your playing time than your free throw percentage.
Not like it's a championship game or anything, but I'm playing those last 17.3 seconds. But after that foul, Webb will go take a seat, and great sportsmanship from her, giving Clay a hug on the way in. Excellent game from Webb. She had 9 big points in that fourth quarter to kind of close this thing out for Fort Bend.
Yeah, she was a real difference maker down the stretch. Kind of game hung in the balance, and she just said, nope, we're going this way with it. Whether it was getting other teammates involved or scoring it herself, really outstanding performance.
And that shot at the last second, no good from Christina Orikara. And that's going to do it. The D2 Girls 18 champions, Fort Bend Eagles. Great game from Flathead Valley Crusaders. We want to thank you for joining us on this broadcast. On behalf of Jesse Sanders, my name is Paul Gilmore. Make sure you stick around for all the rest of the action happening tonight here at Drury. It's going to be some excellent games as we close out Nationals 2025. We will see you on the next one.